Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Veronica, I'm a relationship coach, and today I want to talk about why so many couples struggle to develop real connection and trust in their relationships because they have such unhealthy conflicts. Maybe you've experienced this in your own relationship, or you've witnessed, your friends' relationships where the couple has a good time, they love each other, they are connected, but as soon as there's a conflict, they become like the worst enemies, and it becomes so bitter and resentful, and a lot of negative emotions come up. And as you can imagine, this is terrible for trust development and emotional intimacy, because it feels super unsafe to be in such a kind of relationship. Because if you know that whenever there's a conflict, my partner will become my enemy and will just like start fighting me so aggressively, you can never really let your guard down. So what I want to show you today is what is happening in those relationships and what you can do better. And that is what I call team attitude. So it's a way that you can be always a team with your partner, and you know that they are in your corner no matter what. And when can you see this most? In conflicts. So let's get into it. All right. So what's happening when couples fight like this is that usually it comes from childhood, where they grew up in households when they have never learned how to have healthy conflicts, and that whenever there was an argument, they had to watch out for themselves. You can imagine they were like backed in a corner like an animal, and they had to fight for themselves, And of course, this is not that families do this on purpose. It's just that most people are not conscious about the way they are relating to each other. So there's all these unhealthy patterns in all these families, and that's what we then bring into our adult relationships. So what's happening then when this kind of couple has a conflict? So they both think, oh my gosh, I'm on my own. I have to make sure that my needs are met and I'm safe. So they go into this war mode, and they start to go into defense mechanisms. That means that every one of us has learned a certain way how to defend themselves in childhood, and that's really different for all kinds of people, So for some people, that meant that they start to raise their voice, they get really aggressive. That's me. That's how I defend myself. My partner, for example, he would rather become really silent and cold and would retreat or leave the house, Other people, they change the topic because they're really afraid of conflict. Other people would even get seductive, So whenever there's like a difficult situation, I just seduce my partner. It can also be that you become really sweet and like a child. Whatever has helped you. But this defense mechanism actually makes conflicts really difficult, because you cannot talk about what's actually happening and find a solution. Instead, you go into this like war mentality, or you just don't talk about it. So when you want to change this, first of all, what you have to do is shift your mindset. And that is view your relationship and your partner as a team. And make yourselves aware that whenever your partner is suffering, you are also suffering. That is normal, because you are a team together and you go together through life. And that does not mean, when your partner has depression or something, that you should suffer with them. But just what I mean is, become aware that they are like a part of you. They are like your arm. When you are hurting them, you are hurting yourself. So whenever there's a new fight and you just want to lash out because it feels so unfair, remember that when you are hurting them, you're hurting yourself, you're hurting the relationship. That's the first thing, shift your mindset. Then the second thing is to become really aware of your defense mechanisms and realize how these are actually making these conflicts so terrible. And for that, I would really advise you to learn nonviolent communication, because this is a way that we can be honest. Notice it's not about lying or not saying when you feel hurt or not saying your needs, but you say it in a way that is compassionate and actually connecting. So learn nonviolent communication. And then when you feel that your defense mechanism is coming up in an argument, you pause the situation. You're like, okay, I realize now my defense mechanism is coming up. Okay, I realize that the conflict can become really violent. Let's just stop and pause for a moment. And then this is the moment to really take out your non-violent communication tools and start to change this. Don't go into your defense mechanism. And in the beginning, this will be very, very difficult because you will feel literally like you're under attack. But you have to really stop this and go into peaceful conflict resolution. And when you do this a few times, you will learn that how much better it is, because actually afterwards you will still feel connected with your partner, you know? So what will happen when you start doing this? And in the beginning, it's a little bit like not very organic, you know, because you have to learn a new way. So maybe conflicts will be slightly awkward. You're both trying to find your feet. You really slow it down. But then once you have done it a few times, you will realize that it is the most natural thing to be in this team attitude, because of course you love your partner, you want the best for them. And when you realize that you don't have to defend yourself, actually you can both look out for each other and make sure that both of your needs are met, then it becomes such a great feeling and you want to do it more and more. And this team attitude has changed my own relationships in ways I can't even tell you, and many of my clients, because suddenly there's not this we are connected, we're disconnected, we are connected, we're disconnected, but the relationship stays in one connection place and even increases more and more because you actually start to have this feeling of respect and trust and connection at all times. If you want to learn more about this, you can join the Conscious Relationship School. I offer free webinars on the Meetup platform weekly, so just check the link below. Also, I'll offer coaching sessions and also emotional healing. So if you're interested to go deeper into these topics, I work both with couples and singles, you know, who want to learn relationship skills before they go into a new relationship. So all the links are below. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed this video and see you soon.